A decorated veteran faces the unimaginable in the middle of a peaceful Saturday morning. What happened in this grocery store will leave you speechless. It was a bright Saturday morning in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Retired Colonel Diana Brooks, a respected veteran with an air of authority and kindness, was calmly strolling through the grocery store aisles. Her cart was filled with fresh produce, canned goods, and treats for her grandkids. Little did she know, a routine shopping trip was about to turn into a shocking encounter that no one could predict. As Diana carefully inspected a cereal box, she noticed a commotion at the end of the aisle. A young, visibly agitated officer, hand hovering too close to his gun, was arguing with a store employee. The atmosphere shifted. Something wasn't right. Moments later, Diana felt the officer's piercing gaze lock onto her. "Ma'am, I need to see some ID," he demanded, his voice sharp and accusatory. The veteran, accustomed to standing tall under pressure, remained calm but perplexed. Why was she being singled out? Despite providing her military ID, the officer's tone grew harsher. "We received a disturbance call, and you match the description," he said, ignoring her credentials. Whispers rippled through the nearby shoppers, some raising their phones to record. Diana, with decades of military experience, recognized the danger in his rigid stance and trembling hand. "Officer," she said firmly, "I've done nothing wrong. Let's resolve this peacefully." But her calm reasoning seemed to push the officer further into a corner. His hand tightened on his holster, his voice cracking as he barked commands. Tension filled the air as the crowd's murmurs grew louder, their outrage simmering. The situation spiraled out of control when the officer drew his gun, pointing it directly at Diana. Gasps echoed through the store. Diana stood her ground, her voice unwavering despite the fear in the room. "Put the weapon down," she commanded. "I am not a threat." Just as the atmosphere reached a boiling point, a voice rang out from the crowd. "Officer Barker, stand down." A senior officer, Lieutenant Marshall, had arrived. Marshall swiftly de-escalated the situation, ordering Barker to lower his weapon. The crowd erupted in murmurs of relief and frustration as Barker reluctantly handed over his badge and weapon. Diana remained calm, her unwavering strength inspiring those around her. By the time Diana left the store, footage of the incident was flooding social media. Within hours, hashtags like #JusticeForDiana and #AccountabilityNow were trending nationwide. Interviews, press conferences, and public outrage followed, sparking a national conversation about accountability and prejudice in law enforcement. Diana's response wasn't just about seeking justice for herself, it was about systemic change. "This isn't about one mistake," she said in an interview. "It's about building a society where respect, dignity, and accountability are non-negotiable." Her story became a catalyst for reform, inspiring protests, policy discussions, and grassroots movements demanding better training and oversight in law enforcement. Diana's calm courage lit a spark, proving that one voice can lead to a nationwide call for justice.